The FA Cup has, for us at Guernsey, been a bit of a distraction over the past few years. One legendary run, and well, we're going to hope another one can start today, because we're back for a double header, which is going to kick off with a game against third in the table Chesterfield, and after that, Sutton United of League One. Yeah, the Sutton United in this save game have worked their way up the footballing pyramid just a little bit, established themselves as a League One team. Their media prediction was 24th. They're currently in 14th. We're taking them on away from home as well. We've got a Jack Doesn't Away day. It's going to be another classic episode, I think, of Park to Prem. Yes, folks, I hope you're all doing amazing. Welcome back. Today is episode number 28 of Park to Prem, and it's a double header. It's a double header that comes at the start of November, and the reason for me deciding the FA Cup is maybe worth our time is because, I'll be honest, I think in the league this year, we kind of just have to accept that we are a mid-table team. Now, of course, going into the season, the media prediction was 20th. The league position, as we sit here right now, is 12th. We're not doing terribly by any means. We're certainly, I think, exceeding expectations. But, of course, in the grand scheme of a series where every year we've been challenging towards the top, by comparison, this year just feels a little bit weird. Now, of course, last episode, we beat Maidstone 2-0. They were unbeaten at the top of the table. They've not lost to anyone else since. So clearly on our day, we are quite good. Unfortunately, that game that we lost against Notts County was a bit of a precursor for what was to come. Because in the month of October, we've lost 5 league games 2-1. That's mad, isn't it? Hadn't quite dawned on me how mad it is to have 5 2-1 defeats in the league in a month. One of them, the first, is against Gillingham. We lost this one 2-1. 2.88 XG. They won. Williams sent off in the 70th minute. Not a good day. I mean, ultimately, we scored a penalty. We should have scored more whilst we were on top. We went down a man. That really changed how the game played out. And Gillingham came back from behind to win. After that disappointment, though, one of 2 wins we've had in the league over the last month. It came against Scunthorpe, 3-0 away from home. Katongo again scoring from the penalty spot. Harry Kite and Will Merry getting in on the action. And after that, we beat Kettering Town in the FA Cup 4th qualifying round. They play in the league below us. That was a game I expected us to win. Since that win, though, 4 games played in the league, all 2-1s, 1 2-1 win, 3 2-1 losses. I know it's easy for me to sit here and say it, but if a few of these 2-1 wins were 2-2s, maybe if we could just grind out results a little bit better, we'd be in a real fight for the playoffs at the moment this season, so maybe I shouldn't get too annoyed just yet. I do feel very sorry for NLBM because he scored in this game against Aldershot, he also scored against Bromley, and he also scored against South Shields. Basically, if NLBM scores, we're going to lose 2-1. Let's look at the positives, though. We did win one other game in the league. It was against Barnet. All the goals down in front of the Barnet fans as we took them on at home. Russon got them a goal right before half-time. That was really disappointing. I got shouty at half-time. Brandon Charles did some magic for us. He laid it to Gibua, and this, I mean, I don't know if it'll be a goal of the season winner, but it's certainly a contender. Thunderous from range by Gibua. And as you can see, 91st minute, 1-1. I was thinking maybe a draw was what we'd have to settle for. But Rossi played it to Charles. He hit it in. And with that, we stole a win with what was a 92nd minute winner. It's fair to say the form has been a little bit hit and miss. The lack of clean sheets, I suppose, has to be a concern. The fact that we've been consistently conceding 2, but ultimately we are moving up in the world. The National League is just a ferociously competitive division. If you've ever played Football Manager, this is a league where you can get stuck for a few years if you're not careful. You know, financially, the differences between clubs end up being pretty vast. I mean, right now, our wage spend is the 4th lowest in the league. So the fact we're in mid-table where we are is maybe all the more impressive. Just talking on the finances, actually, we are already in the red for our overall balance. Of course, expenditure this year has been more steep. We have had, obviously, facilities being improved. We've signed a few players here and there. The transfer budget and wage budget are still healthy. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to be readjusted rather soon. So with the financial predicament, the game against Sutton, against League One opposition, is a really big chance for us to maybe generate a bit of money, get some ticket revenue in for sure, although Sutton United don't exactly have the biggest stadium in the world. In fact, their stadium holds 20 fans more than us, so maybe this isn't the FA Cup payday I was hoping it was going to be. Perhaps all the more reason to want to beat them, but that's game number 2 today. First game is against Chesterfield. They're in third. The Spyrites are a very, very good team, currently alongside Newport County, Fylde and Bromley, chasing down Maidstone, who, as already said, have only lost 1 game still. It was against us, but yeah, Maidstone, very, very good. So in terms of team news, we have had a couple of injuries, players being unavailable for certain games. For ourselves today, McGuinness is unavailable at right back. Besides that, though, it's a fairly full-strength team. Willox didn't cover himself in glory last episode. This is a player who, I'll level with you. I mean, you can see his form graph here. He has not been very good. I would really like to get in a new left winger sooner rather than later, hopefully by Christmas. Of course, there's no transfer windows or registration windows at this level, so we can sign players whenever. A left winger, I think, is still maybe the order of the day. Besides that, though, I actually do feel like our team is in a good little spot. We've been unlucky, I feel like, with our run of form, had a couple of sendings off, missed penalties. At the end of the day, you have to sometimes have a little bit of luck, I suppose. And whilst I don't think we've got the quality to challenge at the very top, I do question if with a little bit of luck, despite the fact that we don't have big wages to spend, we're not the biggest team in the league, we could have found ourselves maybe slightly higher up the league as we sit here right now. Chesterfield, by the way, they've not lost in their last 7 league games. So, another difficult game, but last time we did a difficult game live, we beat Maidstone. So, I've come to the conclusion that we win games that I commentate, and therefore, I should commentate all the games I don't expect us to win, such as this one. We're playing our 4-4-2. We are at home for this game as well. I'm going to hope that we can, find a little bit of consistency after a patch of inconsistency. As for their team, you can see it here. Now, Stevenson in centre defensive mid for them is a mad player who plays for Chesterfield, but he's actually playing for the England national youth team. I was looking at him. I'll show you him. So yeah, Thomas Stevenson, this is the man I was talking about. He plays for England's under-19s, despite being in the National League. He has been generated at Chesterfield. He's been absolutely mad for them. If we just look at players playing at this level, you can see lots of Premier League, Championship and League One players, and then there is actually a couple of different players here now suddenly. Should I be scouting these players? On loan from Hull, on loan from Plymouth. Never mind, I got excited then for a moment. But yeah, he's a player who's been playing a lot in kind of the England national team setup. I'm now wondering, why is he not in the setup anymore? Have they dropped him? Saying all of this doesn't even matter. We've just got to try and keep this man quiet today. He's a centre defensive mid, but if we can limit his creativity, that would be nice. Okay, this has not been an exciting game in the opening 20 minutes, but finally an opportunity perhaps. It's not a great ball forward there by Kite, but he's going to get a second chance perhaps. The centre defensive mid gives it wide to Willox. I've told him his head might be on the chopping block. Can he deliver? Of course he can. And he finds Carl Farquhar, who miraculously has only now scored 3 goals for the season. Farquhar has been a consistent goal scorer for us, a player I've really put faith in again this year. I have dropped him occasionally and been rotating him around. I'd love him to go on a great goal-scoring run and really cement his place in the team, but the more this season plays out, the more I'm starting to realise if we want to make it out this division, Kyle might have to, go sit on the bench and be a backup. But let's not take it away from him. That was a great header there. Now we might have a little bit of defending to do as well. Gibua, the Italian stallion, lays it back to Williams. Got sent off in that game that we bottled, and, well, I'm going to hope that he can remain a bit more disciplined today. To be fair, he's been very, very good at the back, traditionally, and, well, we could have a chance here. NLBM's through. Willox, having a lot of joy on this left-hand side. Gallagher, we've already scored once from here. We could have had another goal there, but NLBM's effort hits the post, and it was offside anyway. Roscoe at the back for us, laying it forward to Kite. So far in this game, it feels like we are having the better of the play. We're knocking the ball around nicely. We're using the space across the pitch, and, well, NLBM finds himself in a lot of that space. Unfortunately, he hits it wide of the mark. We've actually had 59% of the ball in this game, and as another highlight begins, unsurprisingly, it starts with us in our own half, working the ball forward, working the space, you could say. Have I ever said that before in a video? It's a bit cringe. Rossi, wide. Can he get in the middle? He doesn't. He gives it to Farquhar eventually. I think it might have even deflected his way. Shot was off target. Half a chance, perhaps. 5 minutes left of this first half. Considering Chesterfield were 3rd in the league, I thought they were going to be a really difficult game for us. As things stand right now, we're bullying them. We've been way better than them, but with the scoreline only being 1-0, and given our recent form, I would not put it past us to bottle it in this second half. I kind of expect them to come out and play better. They can't play any worse Chesterfield than they just played against us. They're 3rd for a reason. They have some quality. It's up to, I suppose, the manager to try and get it out of them. As for ourselves, well, I kind of just want to stick with what we're doing because it appears to be working at least for the opening 45 minutes. Williams with the ball. Can we get that second goal? That would really help me relax. It'd help me believe that the 2-1 curse is not real. Fraser, Sorensen doesn't win the ball there. Great header by Osborne, who's slotting in at right back today due to the suspension. Farquhar scored one. Could he turn provider here as well? He whips it in. NLBM, he was sniffing away. He wasn't in the right place where he was sniffing. He was sniffing the wrong spot. The keeper's managed to pluck it away off his forehead. That said, the ball is gifted straight back to us. Osborne is winning a few headers. The right back, ball forward, Farquhar, NLBM Shirley makes it 2-0. I'll tell you what, don't want to say it too soon. We are bullying Chesterfield here. This should be another win. Just a big ball forward here by Rossi as well. A great ball through. Farquhar with a lot of space to attack into, in behind. Plays it across, simple as you like. And if he'd missed from there, I would have subbed him off. Okay, an hour played here. I'm going to make a couple of little changes, but I don't really want to change anything too drastically. Rossi's on a booking. We're going to take him off. Osborne's on a booking as well, which I do not love. I'm going to bring in Jeffries into the midfield just to give him a bit of experience. The 19-year-old has been slotting in fairly regularly. He's not wowed me, to be honest, when he's played as part of our defence, but he is kind of the best backup we have, I think, ahead of Reggie Evans. So we're going to bring him in. Merry also out on that far side, but I guess the ratings tell a story. The stats tell a story. We've been the better team in this game. We've played really, really well. I was about to switch to positive and just try and see out the last 20 minutes with a couple of instruction changes. And then a highlight began. If we get a third goal, maybe then I'll just time waste that little bit more just to fully kill off this match. NLBM could square it, should square it, doesn't square it. And the keeper, I think, actually saved... Did the keeper save that before he went through his legs? The keeper has stopped it. I think that ball could have been squared to Farquhar. Farquhar laid it over to NLBM earlier. NLBM is not the generous type. He doesn't know the definition of passing. He doesn't know the English word for it yet, you know. It's that French-English thing. I can't afford to send him on a language course. In-game, they cost like £40,000 for the year. It's mental. Okay, I'm going to go to positive, shorten the pass in 10 minutes left. Let's just try and see this out. Corner on the far side. Kite is going to put it in. Leak heads it away. Simpson sniffing away, but as is Gibua, he lays it wide to Gallagher, the left back with so much time and space to pick out the right pass. Gives it to Willocks. I'm never sure if passing to Willocks is the right pass, but maybe this time it will be because Willocks is going to float it back post. Farquhar was under it, headed away. Willocks battles away, and Gibson has just handballed that there. You know what? Who do I want to take the penalty? Who needs a confidence boost right now? You know what? Jeffries. His name is Jeff. Let's see what he can do for us. I mean, his name's not Jeff, but it's Jeffries. Same difference. He's coming off the bench. He's had a rough start to his time at the club, and I'll tell you what, maybe that'll help him out, or maybe he'll recognise it as a token gesture. Either way, it's 3-0. I have got to admit it is a little bit frustrating every time I do a live commentary in the league against teams I don't think will win. We win those games. We beat Maidstone. We've now beaten third in the table, Chesterfield. On our day, we're a good team. There's no consistency here at Guernsey. So unfortunately in that game, Osborne did pick up a little injury. It's going to mean he misses the game against Sutton United in the FA Cup. We're playing them in just 4 days' time. So I'm going to go rest up the players. We're going to jump into that one. It is going to be a Jack Does an away day. We're heading to the WVBS Stadium. The WBS Stadium. There's a V. I've forgotten how the alphabet works. We're going to the Sutton Community Stadium. I'll see you there. It's embarrassing that I talk for a living and I don't know the alphabet, isn't it? It's time for everyone's favourite segment of these videos. Jack Does an away day. Comment question of the day, though. What are you having for dinner? I mean, as you watch this video, or lunch. It's weird in England, depending on where you are in the world, you either call your meal in the middle of the day dinner or lunch. I call it dinner and then evening meal tea. Let's not go into this debate now. If you don't know, in England, we're weird. Anyway, we're taking on Sutton. Where is Sutton? It's near Epsom. Here it is, right? Sutton. There's a square of grass. That's not the football stadium. Give me a moment. Okay, so Sutton's ground. It looks quite quaint from this point of view, doesn't it? Of course, in this save game, they've climbed up from League 2 to League 1. But if you can contrast this with last episode where we took on Notts County and their stadium, this looks quite small. Also, they offer massages at the stadiums. That immediately give them a good point for that in the Jack Does an away day. There's also the Boom Boom Club. I mean, I'm not one to criticise people for, name choice. I mean, look, work the space. It's not genius, is it? But the Boom Boom Club, is that really the best you can come up with? Really? We've arrived at Sutton, everyone. Do you reckon they've got enough sponsors? Just here? I feel like can we get a work the space sticker put on here somewhere? 3G pitch hire. If you'd like to play, trail, or hold a football party on our new state-of-the-art all-weather pitch. I'm getting some ideas, folks. We work the space meet up at Sutton FC, maybe? Rapid pumping. Don't hump it, pump it. Can I include that bit on YouTube? I'm just reading the signs. They're very keen, aren't they, to rent out the 3G pitch? There's 3G pitch adverts everywhere. I get it, Sutton. We can use your 3G pitch. And then what I assume is the football stadium through there, and here it is, the Boom Boom Club. I mean, it looks about as good as I thought it was going to look. So good news, everyone. We can actually get a look in the stadium as well, which, I mean, it appears to have either the biggest hill in one corner specifically, or this photosphere wasn't stitched together that well. You know, if you ever go to like pools or billiards or snooker and the table's leaning a little bit, there's like one corner that's not quite right. Is that what Sutton's football ground's like? Vanarama National League South champions 2015-16. And now, in our save game, all those years later, they're now 4 divisions higher than this. They're doing Park to Prem for real. I'll tell you what, you can go to the Boom Boom Club, you can get a massage, you can play on a pitch that you can rent out yourselves if you didn't know. It has a very hilly corner, mind you, and a good car park. I'll tell you what, Sutton's got a lot going for it. A lot of character, a lot of charm. 7.5 out of 10. Don't hump it, pump it. What does that even mean? So for this FA Cup first round game, the fans, they're not exactly up for it. They're expecting a defeat. But you know what? We're just going to enjoy a nice away day to a bigger stadium than ours, albeit by a 20-person capacity. This is going to be a very, very interesting game, but I'm going to hope that we can come out and give ourselves a good account. I'd love to go on another one of our epic kind of FA Cup runs that we did a few years ago. The realist in me knows that's not going to be as easy. I think for this game, I am actually going to drop Rossi down to the bench and start Merry. Also, we get a few extra spots for extra attackers. So Tyler Forbes, do you know Tyler Forbes can make the bench? Because we get 7 options on the bench. I did tweet out about this, but Tyler Forbes has signed a new contract to 2029. So he's here for the long haul. It might be naive, it might be stupid, it might be brave, it might be all three, but successful. I am staying with the 4-2-4 or 4-4-2 today and staying on the front foot. I know we're the team away from home, the Minnows, taking on a team a couple of divisions above us, but I think our best bet is just to try and play on the front foot and see what we can do. Sutton have a good little team, they're going strong and define a lot of expectations with their league performances. Maybe they're just going to underestimate us a little bit. Just as a little reminder, as we sit here at 0-0 after 25 minutes, if this game ends as a draw, there is a replay. Now I've said that, they're probably going to score immediately. I mean, that would have been right on cue, wouldn't it? It's hit the crossbar and gone over. But yeah, there is a chance of a replay today. If that happens, I don't have time to do the replay in this episode. We will somehow make that work for an episode tomorrow. I've not figured out the plans for that yet because I feel like we're probably going to get battered against League One opposition. And well, the warning was there, wasn't it, from the first set piece? They've now scored from a corner. Patterson with the ball floated it back post and Smith just rose above everyone. The man on the post didn't even move. The goalkeeping was questionable. Not a great goal to concede. Took a while to get going this one. We didn't have any highlights for the first half an hour, but suddenly we've had 3 in the space of a matter of moments. And well, I'm going to hope for our sakes it's not Sutton going up the end and getting another goal. Farquhardy was so good for us last game, putting in a big block there. Unfortunately, they maintain possession and well, they're going to look to get the ball forward. Roscoe reads it well and lays it off to Williams. The centre-back looks to pick out NLBM, but it's read well. Kite, though, sneaks in, and NLBM, I thought for a second he was going to be in behind. It's dealt with well. Merry playing out on that right-hand side. I've decided to drop Rossi because he's just not been good enough for us, to be honest. And well, oh my word, there's been a calamity. NLBM, one-on-one. Can he finish it, you wazzock? He's hit it over. We might not get many chances this game. That might be the best, and it was a waste. Half-time. Not a lot of chances in this game. It's 1-0 Sutton. It could have been 1-1 if not for NLBM's poor finishing. Has just occurred to me, we've had 34% of possession in that first half. I think it's time for the York special at half-time. Remember what we did against York all those years ago? Put the wingers on attack, in possession, go more direct. In transition, just kick it over the top. Nothing sexy, nothing pretty, just boot it. I think I'd be a great non-league football manager, by the way. If there's any non-league football clubs out there, if you want to know my mantra, it's just boot it. We're already 15 minutes into this half. I need to change some stuff up in terms of personnel. McGuinness on a booking. Already missed the last game because he was suspended, so I'm going to make sure we get him off the bench. Or off the pitch and onto the bench. I'm going to move Reggie Evans in at centre-back. Elsewhere, NLBM's been poor today. I'm going to bring in Tyler Forbes. And with my final change, you know what? I'm going to bring in Valentin, the Frenchman. I'm going to give him another chance. He's not really had that many in the team, but Willocks has been poor. I'm going with a triple change. We're going aggressive. We're going more attacking than we were already with our direct play. And they've instantly got a set piece. They've already scored 1. They've now scored 2. What I'm going to choose to conclude from this, and I could be wrong, is that from open play, we're a League One quality team. But when it comes to set pieces, we're rubbish. We've just given away a penalty from another one. What is happening? I mean, if you were dreaming of another biblical FA Cup run, it's not happened, but McDonald's made a save. And look, there's still time. 2-0 is winnable, 3-0 it was gone. McDonald's a god. I've barely acknowledged it. My head was in my hands so much. The momentum graph is a mess. I thought for a second they were just going to score the resulting corner. That would have been perfect. All right, you know what? Wing backs on attack. We're going for it. Gibua, centre mid on attack, mate. Have some fun. We'll change the wide players both, I think, to be inside forwards, cutting in on their stronger feet as well. Pass into space, go even more direct, hit early crosses. Just move everything to the right. It's the old faithful in Football Manager. We went into this game against League One opposition knowing it was going to be tough. They've nearly scored. They have scored another set piece. I was about to say they've nearly scored another set piece. No, they've actually scored it. I'm going to just lay down and have a cry if that's okay. I think I might train set pieces this week. I think we could do with that because they've scored 3 of them. 3 minutes left. It's still 3-0. FA Cup was fun this year, wasn't it? You guys can make up your own minds. I think we were unlucky. That said, I think I am also just maybe slightly deluded. I think I'm just trying to cope with the pain. We got £3,000 for that. Did we get much money in gate receipts? Not really. This is the disadvantage of taking on a team with a stadium that's as big as your own. So unfortunately, with that defeat, we are out of the FA Cup. We are still in the FA Trophy. We've not been knocked out of it yet, but it is a distraction looming on the horizon. We don't enter till the 3rd round anyway. I think our big focus this year is going to be on the league. We're going to see how we get on. I mean, as I sit here right now, we're only actually 2 points away from the playoffs. The playoffs, of course, encompass 6 teams, and it's very, very competitive between kind of teams competing for the last spot that Eastleigh currently occupy. A lot could change between now and the end of the season, but as I sit here right now, I think this is the consolidation season I feared it might be. With that in mind, I'm not entirely sure when we're going to be back next time. I might join you in kind of January, February time. If we're challenging for the playoffs, great. Maybe we've signed a few new players. What I would like to see is a few players other than NLBM actually chipping in with goals, because we've been very dependent on him, and I don't even know if he's going to have a work permit at the end of this year. That's still a bit of an unknown. If you have enjoyed today's video, do make sure to drop a like on it, like I said earlier as well. Comment question of the day: what food for dinner, lunch, tea, or whenever? What have you had to eat today? Let me know. Answers on a postcard down in the comments. Feed the algorithm. Besides that, I'll see you guys again very, very soon. It is me, Jack, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm out.